What's up, everybody? This is Lord Icon for the base tour. For you followers out there, if you haven't been keeping up with me on the player.me, been away for just a little bit from the recording, but we'll see if we can get back into it. Start off with this base tour here. So in the last couple of months, we've been building a giant mansion on one of our online servers here. Now I am going to go ahead and throw on my armor. So I have night vision, there we go. And I do have on the extra utility wings, so it's going to make it a little quicker to get around the base. So to start off, this space is not just myself. There are multiple people that live here. Each of the people that live here have their own tower. So you can see this one's all done up. Coming up the front stairs is our main entryway. Normally the doors are closed here, and you'll see that the computer's not even on. So if I just turn that on real quick, there we go. There's our main doors. And I'll be going through at the next episode some of the deep dive into some of the ComputerCraft programs. If anybody wants to see any of them specifically, just call them out, and I'll do a little how-to video for each of them. So you walk in, and we have our portal screens. We have the friend side, and we have our location side. So I am going to take off my belt, though. This thing makes me go a little too fast. Alright, there we go. So you click on that. Loading. It now changes it out. You've probably seen this before, but this is not the same as the Direwolf 20 portal. I use a complete different button API. I pretty much built this myself to fit with the Direwolf 20 pack 1.02. The issue is the turtles couldn't read from chests, so I had to have the turtles themselves store the inventory. But I will be updating that to 1.03 release now that that's been resolved. So the next room, this is our main control room. This is our ME room. You can see up there some Bob Marley. This is all of our ME controllers. You can see underneath all of the wires. We have a channel going out for every side, and we try to fill up each one before moving on to the next wire set. So going over to the side here, you can see we each have our own Ender storage. So of course mine's full of junk right now, so I'm not going to open it up. So we have our smelteries on this side. We have two different smelteries. We have one which is our automated smeltery. This is actually being fed glass if we need it. And I'm working on so other things, if we need to auto smelt it, will get thrown into there. Now the manual side for making tools. One of our main builders for the whole place, Ransack, you'll see him on the map over there. Does a great job of design, and he can think up some good things. And if you look here, this is actually a molten material delivery system. So if I click on this, it'll actually take that molten metal and it puts it into here. Now at any time I can click the smeltery clear, and it'll actually empty out all the items that were in there into their respective drum. So it makes it a lot easier if I need to make some tools. So as far as machinery goes, this room has all of the to be used by a user machinery. So we've got our Ender.io, our IC2, QED, and lasers. Those rooms have not been done up as much, but we'll get there. And then on this side we have nice little decoration on the wall, our blast furnace and our coke ovens, and potentially right here either another coke oven or the Thaumcraft furnace. So we have the bee stuff from genetics, and then this room over here we have ComputerCraft. So I built this, of course, with the door, with the ComputerCraft to kind of bring it all together. This is actually one of the issues with ComputerCraft. You can see the pipe's no longer connected. So if I put down a block and pick it back up, it'll fix that. But the assembly line and the pneumatic chamber are all working in succession. And this is also set up to be fully controlled with the computer, so the computer controls the pressure that's in there. Turn it on, turn it off. Now it's actually on manual mode. And if I turn it back on, it'll auto turn off when it gets to the threshold that I set it. Now you'll see our base is actually covered with these hidden doors. And I do have this covered with redstone to control the input and output, how much can go. There's Ransack right there. And that's it but for the ComputerCraft room. So going down, this is multi-floored house, but if we go into the center block here, it actually goes into each of the floors instead of skipping the middle floors. So you can see here, this is where our wires are for the controllers. And if I go down again, we're now in our main control room. This is our automation floor. You can see we have everything set up on the side for ME automation, along with auto smelting of any items that come in from a quarry. We have the inscribers all set up with automation, and we also have what I call pure. This creates, I'm sucking them all up because I have a magnet on, but this will create the pure crystals that get dropped into the ME. You can request the pure crystals and it'll cook them up for you. Additionally to that, we have our controller block. You can see we've already upgraded that to the new one, the what is it? Starts with a V. Vibrant capacitor bank, and yes, we have lots of power. And you can see on the side we have a monitor that shows each of our fluids within our tanks, along with our crafting CPUs. You can see we're crafting some stuff. Trying to figure out a way if we can make that bigger and make that display easier to see, but we'll get there. Again, this is all in process. We're still building on this, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So one more thing from this floor, if I go up this way, we do have our shower for XP along with our XP drain, and we have our jacuzzi for the ComputerCraft bath salts. So heading back down to the tank floor. So this is where all the tanks are, and I really want to walk up these stairs because this is the best view of this. If you look at the floor, there's a water droplet for each of the different tanks matching the color. Again, another thing that Ransack built. Really good at doing those different designs, and you'll see a few more throughout the base. So we do have 2 reactors running right now. Both of them don't run. This is not, again, Direwolf 20's reactor, big reactor code. It is the same display for the control rods, and I'm going to have it so it has the control rods from both sides. I just haven't added that in. But what this is doing is this will make sure the heat, core heat, doesn't go over, I think it's what, 980 something, which is the optimum temperature for fuel usage to RF gain. And it will completely control the rods, no manual mode needed, and if it gets too hot on that side, it will turn on the other side to keep everything balanced out. Now again, this was built in the 1.02 release, so I wasn't able to read from cells. So I do have a RedNet cable reading redstone from downstairs that tells what is the percentage of the redstone cell that's being reserved for full. So again, it does a percentage, but it at least tells us what is our reserve power. So again, we can get into that code if anybody wants it for 1.02, and I will be updating it again. Right now I'm on 1.03, but I will make that update soon for all of it. The next floor down, there we go, is our spawner rooms. You can see we have a spawner room set up for each type. So we have our cursed earth right there. We have our auto spawners, or not auto spawners, but our, there we go, actual spawners themselves. And look, somebody's floating around in here. And then we have all of our auto spawners. Each of them are controlled from this control booth, So I can open the door with the sound of a bell, and that just closed the door for the wither that we have in the back center. We also have our squids. You never need to run out of ink ever again. Now why they all keep spawning with afros, I'm not sure, but we'll figure that out eventually. Alright, so heading back up to the final room here. Well, this isn't the final room. There we go, our magic room. Well, I guess there's one more after this one too. So this is our ComputerCraft room. ComputerCraft / Betania / Blood Magic. Contains all of them. You can see these nice little lightning or fireballs done in purple. And you can also see on the ceiling back there a giant skull. Again, Ransack loves doing designs, and they always look awesome. So we have our automation here for all of the different stuff we need for ComputerCraft, from the ingots to the soap. So it'll actually craft and make all of our soap. We have our charging station for our wands, along with we're making a better charging station for our, well, I guess that's for staves, and we're making a better one for wands right now. You can see these two little pillars in the floor here. These are actually for, one, the enchanter, and the other side, as you can see with the runic matrix, it doesn't have any of the stands or any of the stuff that lessens the stability, but again, put that in there and you can see it's all set up and ready to go. Now the next part is our wall for our crystallizers. So these are all powered by these energized nodes. These crystallizers are melting stuff down right now, as you can see. But what this is doing is we have now all the crystals in the system. So if I need something from a specific jar, and it seems like every single jar is full right now, but I can say choose Fabrico, and say I want one Fabrico in the system. Maybe I've got 63 of them. So I got Fabrico selected, so where's Fabrico at? I don't know my alphabet. And if I back up, I should be able to see it. Or it's the one I have that doesn't light up. When you choose the specific item, oh, there it is. It'll actually light up with that purple block. And once it's melting it down, it does glow through each of the blocks, melts it down, puts it into the system, and it'll fill up the jar. And then you can pick the next one you need. Now this is all of the items. I think there's 48 of them right now. Next off into here is our alchemy room. We have all of our automated potions set up. We also do have our calcinators set up for the bell jars, for the blood magic, and our blood magic auto alchemy. So all of that's set up in here, easy to get to. The other side of the room, we do have our enchanting. So we have every type of enchanting you can get, along with our ability to duplicate books. We have the Ender IO, we have Vanilla, and we have the Mind Factory loaded, along with our Think Tank right in the middle. So you can see along the walls, all of our books, already organized by type. As we collect more, we just fill them out where they need to go. Now there's probably more in the system right now, we just haven't divvied them all up yet. So walking our way up, again, that skull's awesome. We will go ahead and go up to the blood magic altar. So this is a tier 4 or tier 6, sorry, tier 6 altar, since they just implemented that in the last release. This is being fed blood. We pump blood out, and as we need it, pump blood back in. Going over to the blood magic side, we have our binding ritual down below. So if I need to do any binding, I can just drop down the elevator. Behind the wall of blood here, I think I just flipped the wrong switch. I'm not sure what this one does. I'll have to find out. Is a way down to, you can see all of our orbs. If I jump down in the middle here, there we go. This is where we do all of our blood magic spawning, so demon spawning along with all of the different types that we can spawn. So heading back up, close that back up. So after blood magic, we'll go ahead and go around to the left to the witchery room. Alright, as you can see, we have the rings already mapped out. So this is the biggest, 17 ring, then you have each ring going down, and then each of your graspers for holding each of the items. Well, this is also set up with the paving stone and warding, so when we call stuff in, they're not going to be running away through the pit. So you can see our witchery room, of course, needs to be full of all of the different stuff to be able to get our table up to as high as it can possibly get. And the back room here, we have all of our stuff growing. If I go up, it's going to be a little loud. We have our familiar room, so our frogs and our owls. Going down a level, we have all of our graspers for the different snares that we need. And then down to the last level is our slave mining, I guess, where we have these guys mining for the cobodite ore, or dust. Each of our altars here for having them pray to us to recharge our witchery are sitting up here, so I could put that down and they would start praying to my altar. So heading back up here, the next room to the left, we will then get into Betania. So again, sub-dropped floor. This is for the enchanter for Betania. We have all of the different Betania items set up. You'll see these diamond chests set out throughout the house. These are pretty good for organization. As you can see, each of the items I have are broken down. So all of the different potions, and we've tried to make everything we possibly can in every mod, and we're still working on our way there. So here's our elven portal. So I could click that and turn it on right now. There is enough fluid in each of the mana pools. Behind it here, you can see this awesome tree made out of glowstone. This is our portal to summon Gaia. So if I needed to fight to get some more Gaia spirits. And then here is the Terra Steel, whatever that plate's called. And this is set up with a hopper system, so if I wanted to throw that in there, it's going to drop right on top of it, and I don't have to worry about it being sucked over and picked up by me. So how do we get all of the mana that we need? Well, down here we have giant mana generation. So going down, you can see all of the lava that is being pushed down here, being sucked up by all the thermal lilies, and the lava is actually being pumped in via a floodgate, so keeps source blocks for all of those areas. Another little setup here that we do have with a ComputerCraft is the bot. The bot actually goes through based on what item that it last picked up. You see it did living wood, now it's putting down living stone, and it'll continue to cycle until it completely runs out of inventory, and then it'll stop here and wait for more. I haven't set it up to pull from the chest yet, but it will keep emptying in the chest as it goes around. So once it comes back here, it'll drop the last one, empty the items, and wait for it to change. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. There we go. And let that sit there. We really don't need it right now, so I'm not going to have it run. So that takes care of the magic floor. So we will head up to the last set. We do have an open room here, which we're looking at maybe Pam's Harvest when it gets added, or maybe even bees in here, and we're trying to figure out where is the best place for that. The last floor up is our growing room, so we have quite a bit going on in here. We, again, trying to use every different type of mod. We have factorization, doing our sugarcane, and I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Here's our pneumatic craft. Now this may look fairly open, but it's actually all being controlled by Steve's Factory Manager. Each of these are covered with Steve's Factory Manager blocks, and they're actually keeping them contained so the seeds don't fly away. So it's done pretty good. It's ran for a little bit, and you can see chest is half full. On the other side over here, it looks like there's a block not loading. There we go. Is our Steve's cart. We do have Steve's cart doing all of our nether wart. Right now it's not being fed coal, but it is kind of on stop right now because we do have quite a bit of nether wart. You can see our 2 sets of tree farms. So we have one rubber tree farm, one oak farm, and then right in the middle we do have the tree of time. Now another thing that's hidden up here is there is a giant moon with a star shooting through it on the ceiling, but it kind of gets a little covered up by the trees. Last one over here is our food farm. You can see it's not really being processed, but it is covered or controlled by blood magic to help everything grow. Going back down to our entryway, this is also all controlled by levers and switches, so we can turn this on at any time and it'll start processing those items. Oh, I forgot one area back here, which is all of our different oreberry bushes. So it's just for kind of decoration. We don't harvest any of those, but it's a nice little wall. And then going down back towards our entrance, we have one last thing, which is our wall of collected items, our trophy case. You can see we have all the different armor types. We have tons of different sword types, along with all of the heads of different monsters that we've killed, from the Twilight Forest to vanilla. And this goes right out to the front way, which we just, when we came in. And if we look out into the distance, you'll also see there are some houses back there. We are planning on building some extra things, maybe even putting bees out here, but having it so this is kind of like a village out in front of the tower. So hope you guys enjoyed. If there's any of the specific ComputerCraft programs that you want any details on or anything like that, I will be doing hopefully some additional videos on that. So just shoot me a post and follow me, and I'll talk to you guys later.